Hey, what's up guys? This is Timely, here to bring you guys another Unison League video. So, basically, I wanted to update my top 10 Unison League monsters guide. So, it has been so long, probably like 4 months since I put out that video, and now there has already been another power creep. There's so many new monsters now, and so many monsters that have made it in my top 10. So now it's finally here to update that list for you guys. So keep in mind, this top 10 is my opinion only. The way I organized this top 10 was I picked one monster from each batch that I think is the best of that batch. Or I picked one monster that I think is very unique that deserves a spot in my top 10. So if you see a monster, or if you see your favorite monster that's not in there and you're like, oh, Titania's not in the top 10, what's going on? No, okay, they're still very good, okay? It's just that there's somebody else in their batch that outperforms them, okay? Now, without further ado, let's get started. Paco, start up the music. Alright, so at number 10, I have Perseus. Now, I really wanted to add a monster to my list that gives elevation. Out of all the monsters there are, I think it's Tequila, Romeo, and Perseus, and I think that Perseus is the best. So the reason why I like her so much is because she focuses more on cost recovery, making it easier to spam your abilities to get your Unison back, especially because she gives elevation to your team so you can abuse those art procs you have in your main slot. So Perseus, welcome to my top 10. At number 9, I have Chloe, the Halloween monster. So, I used to have Lyriel here, but I think Chloe is a lot better than her. So she removes status ailments from all allies, and then gives everyone 2 nulls, as well as recover 100% of everyone's max HP. She also casts Resurrection on all allies, and fills the Unison gauge of all allies by 20. She then recovers 20 costs for all allies, so she pretty much does it all, guys. She's so supportive, and she has such a good kit. She also gives your character 30% concentration, so you can abuse those art procs you have in your main slot, so you can get your Unison back even faster. So I really like Chloe and how much utility she has. And welcome, Chloe, to my top 10. At number 7, I have Mitsunari. Now, out of all the warlords to choose from, it came down to 2. It came down to Mitsunari and Ayasu. I think that Mitsunari is a lot better than Ayasu. I used to have Ranmaru here, but I had to bump Ranmaru out to add Mitsunari. Now, Mitsunari puts up a time element effect in the top right corner, which gives all of your allies a 30% stat boost. Now this effect can be stacked with Hero, giving you guys a 130% stat bonus. Now keep in mind that this cannot be balanced or karma'd, which is insanely good. He also makes a great throw for RGB and guild battle. He reduces ability cooldown times, he increases the Unison gauge gains, and then he increases the cost recovery speed, making it so that your allies in Crystal Assault can use their abilities faster, get their Unison back faster, and have the cost to do so. So Mitsunari is such a good monster everywhere you throw him, except for Duel and Kahlo maybe, but he excels in everywhere else. At number 6, I have Pollux and Castor. Now, I really like this monster a lot, guys. Mainly because they are very good for RGB and guild battle. They increase the element weakening effect towards light and dark unisons, which can be a great counter towards Harunia and Madia. They also have a new field effect called Pain of Collapse, which increases the ability power taken of all enemies by 30, which is extremely powerful in Crystal Assault, especially because a lot of crystals like to use Karma, and even if that happens, your DPS will still be there. And for the icing on the cake, she puts Piercer on all of your allies, making it so that that pesky mirror that the crystal always uses won't be so terrifying anymore. So Pollux and Castor, welcome to my top 10. At number 5, we have the king of sweepers himself, Branma. Now, I used to have Odin here, but I bumped Odin out to put Branma here. Now, Branma removes resurrection, wards, damage nullifying effects, damage reflection, continuous healing, and damage reduction. He removes everything. It's a complete balance. And then after that, he straight up wipes you with his heavy hitting Unison attack. He makes the perfect sweeping monster for Duel and Colo. He also makes a great GB throw by having an increased wind element weakening effect. So Branma is definitely terrifying for sure. And goodbye Odin, you are still really good, but not as good as Branma. At number 4, we have Madia. Now Madia is the queen of priority. So, out of all 3 priority monsters out right now, Madia easily takes the cake. So, she gives everyone 2 nulls, a 40% barrier, and she gives everyone 100% recovery of their max HP. She also has that nice priority, making her move first in any situation. So she makes a great safety net just in case if your team were to lose Unison battle. And she also poses a huge threat to most guilds, making them have to think about Madia in the metagame for RGB. Like, they better have that Branma, Albrand, Lacrosse Vivi, Odin, just in case if they see that Madia. And also, she is very, very cute. At number 3, we have Aquarius. Still, Aquarius is in my top 10. She is not outdated just yet, guys. Her ability is still unique and has so much utility. As you all know, she gives Awakening to all of her allies. Now, this Awakening can be applied to all of your allies who have Hero applied to them, which is insanely powerful and broken. She is also a staple for RGB for Crystal Assault, upping that DPS by a ton. So get ready to see that Pollux and Castor, Aquarius, and Mitsunari all in the same unison. Prepare your body. So Aquarius, you get to stay in my top 10. Now at number 2, we have arguably one of the best monsters in the game. I even gave them a title. The king of heroes himself, Siegfried the Dragon Tamer. Now, the reason why he's not number 1 is because the number 1 spot has a special place in my heart. But Siegfried is no joke. He gives Piercer to everyone, gives nulls to everyone. He increases the Unison gauge gains for everyone, fills the Unison gauge of all allies by 20, increases the max HP of all allies by 100%, just like Lancelot. And then he has a new effect where he increases the accuracy of all of attack abilities by 30%, which is really good for a mage's starburst. And then lastly, he gives your character Hero. Now think about it. Your character has Hero and he applies everyone Piercer, so you pretty much have a Super Saiyan cocaine version of Frenzy. This monster is definitely worth the gems. He is going to be staying in my top 10 for a very long time. Now finally, at number 1, we have the most cancerous monstrous being ever to be released. The queen of Duel and Colo herself, Kroyt, the goddess of the brush. Now this monster decreases the unison of all enemies by 30 and increases the unison of all your allies by 20, giving your allies a 50-point lead over all of your enemies in unison gauge. That is stupid broken. Your enemies will never come back from that. It's an automatic win for your team. She also increases your unison gauge gains by 3 for 40 seconds, making her spammable. Then, she comes with the best debuffs in the game. She increases the physical and magical ability power of damage received by all enemies by 30, making her unison damage hit even harder. She also decreases all of their base stats as well. Hell, you don't even need archer stats for her. You could be a tank and then use her just for the support. And she holds a special place in my heart, and whenever I see her in duel in Calo, it makes me want to retire. I hate her with a passion. So yeah guys, that pretty much wraps up my top 10. If you guys didn't see your favorite monster in my list, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And I have to get going now. Peace.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.